America is a wonderful country. I'm happy to be here. My children have studied here, and I'm visiting them. And every time I come here, I'm welcomed warmly, and people are very friendly, very helpful, and I'm happy to be here.
I think what makes America great is our ability to have so many diverse people in our country, so many different languages and cultures that are around and that you can learn from, and just basically makes our country grow every day.
If you could change one thing about America, what would it be?
I would change the capitalism in our society. I think that there's little room for the lower class to move up. I think the glass ceiling needs to continue to be raised.
I think what makes America great is our right to free speech. I know that can be a downside sometimes, especially what we're seeing in this election, but I think that it's also what makes our country so great, is that you can say some of the stuff you can say, and you can't get in trouble for it, even if it's not the greatest thing to say.
The fact that in America, you have the ability to practice whatever religion you choose, you can express your views without repercussions. I feel that that's something that in other countries they lack. But in America, you're open to many ideas, and you're free to speak them and to say them and write them and express them to anyone. And I feel that that's something that makes America great. One thing I would change about America is our political structure, in the fact that private corporations should not influence the government. And lobbying, I feel, is something that is a detriment to the United States and its government, because in essence, if you have a lot of money, or if a corporation has a lot of money, they can influence laws and influence our political parties, and I think that that's something that should change.
What will make America great is if we continue making our country great by not electing Trump tomorrow. The huge divide between conservatives and Democrats, like finding some conscious middle ground.
I think it's the diversity that it holds, not necessarily just politically or like racially, but also geographically and like in climate. Like the weather in Alaska is very different than the weather in Georgia, that kind of thing. There's a lot of diversity. I guess it's kind of partisan about views and stuff like that. People will have, they think one thing about one thing and their country are minded to another thing. I think people are more open-minded about, and it doesn't have to be like about anything. I think people are more open-minded, people will be a little bit more unified.
Yeah, definitely being able to take other people's views into consideration, not being so stubborn about things.
I think the original values, the freedom of speech, is very important, and also the underlying commitment to the arts and how any real revolution kind of starts with the artists and moves through to the mainstream. It can be such a slow process to get the rest of America on board with these progressive ideas, but I love watching it happen, and I love watching people really speak their minds. And I think that's really what makes America great, because we're allowed to do that. I don't like guns. I really don't. I think gun violence is terrifying. And that's what I would change. I would at least, I don't know, I'm big on take all the guns away, but I understand that there's a Second Amendment, blah, blah, blah. But I would at least impose some of those limitations. And then, more diversity in everything. I think right now everything's whitewashed. It's all about white people and white privilege, and it has been forever. And I think we need to recognize our history as a nation that has oppressed and move from there. But everyone's so resistant to recognizing that we've oppressed. It's like, let's just call it what it is. So
I think it's the ability of America to break free from a system where I'm from England. They broke free from a system that enslaved them, so to speak, on economic bondage. Build themselves from revolution. But what could make America even more greater is to remember their past, remember the struggle that they had with England. And what caused them to be the so-called nation of greatness that they are, and then for them to then understand that there are other countries which are developing and growing, and if America really wanted to be great. A good action that they're doing at the moment is to get themselves lift the embargo on Cuba. They could play a better role with Haiti. Yeah, they could pull themselves out of other countries and more concentrate on their internal issues.